Salute, Bulldog community. Salute, everybody. Y'all all ready? We up in the cookout. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just mic checking. Just mic checking. Everything seems like it's good. Salute, everybody. Let's get it. Welcome to the cookout. Salute, Big A. Thank you, bro. Salute, Pit Wise. Salute. Yes, sir. Who we got in the building? Yes, sir. Go ahead, get y'all, sit where you want to sit at. Sit at the royal table. We still got room right now. Y'all see what's on the royal table. Drinks, blunts, steaks, lamb chops, everything else. Special table. Look kind of empty this morning. Dre on the road. I don't see the King T nowhere, so the special table open. I'm sure to get filled up quick. Salute. Yes, sir. It's Thursday. Y'all know what Thursday is to the Bulldog community. Thursday is the beginning of the weekend to the Bulldog community. That's what they told me. They say Thursday is the beginning of the weekend. Young fam, salute. They say in the Bulldog world, Thursday is just like Friday. Salute. Yes, sir. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Marcel Shepard was good. Salute to the chat. Salute, Marcel. Yes, sir. Get a seat. Enjoy yourself. Pull up. Get a plate. However you want to get it out. Yes, sir. It's y'all word. There you go. There you go. There you go. Salute the king. Yes, sir. Okay, you got the special table rocking. All right, it was looking empty over there because I know Big Dre on the road. So I guess you over there. See how you gonna show off the day over there. You got it all over there by yourself today. See if you get some new recruits over there. You gonna be acting up by yourself. I know how you get. Salute the wolf. RBG was cracking. Yes, sir. Salute to all y'all. First of all, like I said, it's Thursday in the Bulldog world. We know it's really Thursdays. It's Friday around here. You did. Boom. In the Bulldog world. Salute. Before I get started, I want to say the Bulldog community, send your prayers out Minnesota. Yeah, send your prayers out Minnesota for the victims of those mass shootings that have been happening in the last 2-3 days, like 72 hours. Whole lot of stuff happened up there, to kids and everything. And we was just talking about how the Bulldog community, we always love the kids. The dogs love the kids. The kids love the dogs. We protect the kids around here. And, we was just talking about protecting the kids. So, you know what I mean? Like some tragedy happened out in Minnesota. So we don't want the world to think that the Bulldogs ain't got no hearts. And we definitely like I say, only thing we could do is send our prayers out there. We're gonna do that. What he say? Starting the day with the Bulldog talk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Marcel. Yes, sir. And the link is in the chat, gentlemen. If y'all want to come in, you know what I mean? If y'all want to come in and talk about anything, you know what I mean? You know how I do. Y'all can have the mic or whatever. Before I go in or whatever, or you could take the mic from me. But yesterday, I'ma just, keep on riding off yesterday. I might start doing that too. Because I like give y'all a little time to marinate on some of those things I be throwing out there. Then maybe you'll double back and talk to me the next day or the day after that or whenever you feel like it, if it ever hits your mind. And if you got topics you want to share, You always could do that with Big Toyo. You can send them in too if you got topics you want me to talk about. All right. Now we was talking about lies, truths, and secrets, and what is the bulldog, pit bull that we love? What is our community built off? I think we was talking about that. I said that we heard a lot about the lies. We've been getting a lot about the lies lately. So we definitely need some truths. We need some truths and some, and I know you niggas be trying to hold on to your secrets or whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Some of the old heads though might can share some of them to help us out. And, and if I got something that I share with y'all, I'll throw out some too. But like that's what it's about. Something that interested me. Let me get into it. Something that interested me. I heard in the community a while back. I peeped a jewel that a brother dropped a while back in the community. I really don't remember where I was at when I picked up this jewel, but it was in the Bulldog community that all y'all be stomping around and stuff. Heard a guy say around here, and I think that I'm talking about, I think he was from the Florida area, but I heard him say something like, he was laughing and he was like, yeah, we don't mess with that red boy around here. We got that Corvino. So when he said that, it kind of hit me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, Corvino. Okay. He was really. He sounded really confident in that, and sounded like, what I mean, like he knew something. So I was like, the bells rung off in my head. Like, what he talking about? Corvino. And he trying to. Saying it in relation to Red Boy, like they don't need no Red Boy when they got that Corvino. So I'm like, okay, let me see what he talking about. So that's what I'm shooting out there today. Do y'all guys know about that Corvino and why somebody would say, we ain't tripping off Red Boy, we could deal with the Corvino? Do any of you guys want to share? Do any of you guys know what he talking about? You know what I mean? So that's one of the things I threw out there today. Mr. Joe Corvino. So Mr. Joe Corvino, huh? So I think, so when I did my little research, let me see what he talking about. Young fan, Corvino lines are known for going long distance, most of the time over an hour and two. Salute, young fan. That's what I'm talking about. Let's start digging. You know what I mean? I like it. Then what I didn't heard about Corvino before I start tapping into a little research, what the word was, and I seen on his little, when they showed his property, his little gate, I think he had Staffordshires. He was proud of them staffs. That's what I do know. He was proud of the staffs. He didn't care about the staffs. And it just hit me when Dre was like, man, it look kind of staffy to me, talking about Snooty. And I was like, well, shit. Them staffs up in there somewhere. Not saying I know anything and nothing like that, but when he said it, I'm just, they was making the dog, so I'm sure staff up in there. But anyway, we on Corvino. And Corvino had staffs. You know what I mean? Was proud of them. You know what I mean? Also, Big Toyo has always told y'all, if you be listening to him, I'll be telling y'all, I ain't hear nobody else saying it. Like far as I was like telling y'all, like, man, these dogs, don't worry about what them people say from, far as I call them box blind. You dig what I'm saying? I threw out a term called box blind, and that wasn't to everybody. That was just to people that can't see past that stuff and want to call your stuff, the people who did not indulging in that for whatever reason, they can't indulge in that. You say that they dogs is trash or not comparable to your dogs. And, I always say that was like going a little bit too far. Not like really don't know no real dog men. In my world, don't know real dog men really talk like that. If it's a job that another dog is doing that they ain't doing, they just ain't, either they interested or not. But the love for the dogs was supposed to keep you respecting the dog. And if you was out there a long time, you should know how we all go hand in hand with each other. Like, you could call a dog a show dog and all that type of shit or whatever, just because his his owner decided to put him in shows and stuff, weight pulling and things like that. But you're going a little bit too far when you say that dog can't do things from the historical past. You know what I mean? Like questions come up like why wouldn't he be? The genetics is still there. The potential is still there. That's just another job. Um, if you didn't prove him to not be able to do that, how can you just say that by a job that he's doing? I mean, all types of questions come up, common sense questions, you know what I mean? But then you get to your point where as though you ask yourself, well, what if these people are knowledgeable and comfort, they into the dogs and they celebrate the dogs and they people we supposed to look up to, why would they shun such things like that? Knowing the times that we in, knowing that basically if somebody was still doing historical things, there's no way we could talk about it. So your hands tied about that. So when they ask you questions about where is it at, what you got now to prove, it's nothing you could say. And they know it's nothing you could say. So why even try to shoot that out there like, like that's something to weigh something on? Like, the people ain't gonna say nothing that could do something that whatever. You already know that. That's common sense. So that's a mute point, But either way, and then on top of that, and I'm just pointing out common sense stuff. No disrespect to anybody. I'm just keeping it real. And, I always been out here, like I say, I'm a little bit younger than what y'all would call old legends and shit. And I ain't even no legend. I come up underneath them, and I'm older than a lot of folks. You know what I mean? I'm 50, 54. So, I feel y'all and I feel them. But basically, like, nobody should disrespect neither one of them. These dogs, we love them, and it's just different jobs. And, nobody should be mad at that. I don't see nobody disrespecting nobody in that statement. Anything else, then you start talking shit. So I'm a person that I'm in this community now, whereas though we're trying to do these things in a positive light. So I'm part of this community of trying to take these dogs in a positive light. So when I hear shots and stuff like that, I try to be good and stuff like that and try to be respectful. But I'm part of this community. So I can respond to different things, just like you get shots. So like I say, people that do things like that talk about things that's trying to like talk down on you for no apparent reason, but seems like to come up off of trying to say yours is lesser than theirs. That's the only thing I get out of it. And then on top of that, right after they make those type of statements, you'll hear them or you'll see them at the events that they're talking about is trash stuff and all that type of stuff. It don't make sense. It's you doubling down, you playing both sides of the fence. Okay, you saying these dogs is trash that even indulge in these activities. That's what you want to say. But yet you want to be at those events. So what are you at those events for? Let's talk trash about the dogs there, or you hobnobbing, samboing for the dog men that is got the balls to be there, that legends, because there's definitely legends in from the historical side that's retired, and they definitely show their dogs. And like I said, this shit been going on since the beginning of time. So like when you just talking about the movement now, it's just hate. It's just hate because you talk about this movement now, but you go hobnobbing for the legends at those same shows that we be talking about. You be hobnobbing and samboing, trying to take pictures with people that you dick ride or people that you think is somebody, not realizing that you're walking contradiction, that you just basically called all these motherfucking dogs trash, and people that do these dogs and these type of shows like they lesser. And that's how I read it, like they lesser. And we've been going through this for a minute, but it seems that, people still got to earn their respect, but like, anyway, I just showed you dog yesterday, Tombstone. You could tie him to some show lines. There's a lot of dogs you could tie to show lines. It's been shown out here. Different the same dogs in different jobs has been shown out here. You know, so enough research, enough data is out here for you to understand that. But anyway, I'm gonna keep it like that. But we're gonna go to Corvino, and because, of course, Corvino, you know what I mean. If you don't know, Corvino is celebrated as a hell of a dog, man. Was celebrated as a hell of a dog, man, from like the 1920s era and things. And he, one of his notable dogs, something that stamped him to make him official, as far as his reputation and everything, was something like we be trying to do, stuff like we talking about, shows and different things like that. Yeah, the champion socks of Chicago that was, well known. He won the national specialty in 1939, and he also won the Westminster in 1940. You dig what I'm saying? And he was known to have good dogs, game dogs and all that, but he participated in dog shows and stuff like that. He even made it to the Westminster. Like I say, he had the staffs. So he played an important part as far as what I was saying earlier about when the brother said, yeah, we choose Corvino, we ain't tripping off the red boy. I learned that basically, like, he had an important part. Corvino had an important part in the old family red-nosed dogs. Through dogs like I think Braddock or something, Braddock maybe. Braddock, you could look him up, you know what I mean? But they used to call him, I think they called him Corvino Red Devils or something. Shorty, he had a dog named Shorty, he had a dog named Braddock, he had a dog named Thunder, Gimp. These are dogs that he had. You dig what I'm saying? So, Tacoma bloodlines. You ever heard of Tacoma bloodlines? You know what I mean? That's Shorty influence, heavy Shorty influence bloodlines. Castillo lines. You ever heard of the Castillo lines? And even in like the Dabo dogs, like his collabo with Heinzel. His collabo with Heinzel was very important and influencing our dogs of today. You know what I mean? You look at Divo, Black Widow, and On Head. You dig what I'm saying? So those. He heavy influence when he collabed with Heinzel on different things. You know what I mean? I think he messed with like the to develop his lines. I think he messed with like the Tudor, combination of the Tula, the Con Philly. It was a couple of them, like 4 different Tudor, Con Philly. It was like 4 different lines. He used to cook with. You know what I mean? So Bueno was cooking. You know what I mean? And I kind of understand. Why the guys just digging into Corvino kind of gave me a light on why somebody would say something like that about they'll choose Corvino over Red Boy or whatever. You just look into it, you'll find out yourself. So I just felt like I'd throw that out there for y'all. You might want to cook on it. You might know some things about Corvino that you might want to share. You know what I mean? At the least, it's interesting. You could check it out for yourself and dig into it. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of research out there on Corvino. Even the Trey Hands Rascal dog was bred by Corvino itself. If I'm not mistaken, you guys can double check me on different things. Lil J, salute. Game Dog History Channel, salute. Yes, sir. But yeah, that's what I was shooting out there today. You know what I mean? Some little things about Corvino, and I heard somebody say, they'll choose Corvino lines and be cool with it instead of the Red Boy. Now, how these dogs come to the present off of those lines, you had to do your own research and find like what dogs are the present, come down from that type of stuff, and still you got to choose a good dog. But it was interesting. The Corvino thing was very interesting. Also, a question I want to ask out here. If y'all ain't talking about none of that, I'll throw another question out there. Like, how do y'all choose? To all my single brothers out there and all that, I ain't trying to get nobody in trouble. Or if you ain't gonna get in trouble, even if you married and you can still talk about these type of things. How my Bulldog brothers out there? How y'all like y'all women? How do What's your choice in women, and how do you like your women? Just, just, just interested. Just uh, entertain Big Toyo for a minute. That's all. I don't want carry the women and hear us comparing them to our dogs and not the female dogs. But basically, it's a real conversation. How my bulldog brothers, how y'all like y'all women in real life? How y'all like y'all partner? You know what I mean? You know, and you might like them like your bulldog. I'm just shooting it out there. There you go, young fan. That's what I'm talking about. I like mine smart too. I like mine smarter than me. I like mine smarter than me. We can start there. That's what I know. I like my. What I say, the way I like my coffee, Puerto Rican salute, salute. All right, put my salute. All righty. Yeah, I like mine smart. Definitely, I need mine to be smarter than me. That's for sure. You know what I mean? If she ain't smarter than me, she got to be just at least as smart as me. I'll start there. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, sir. How do you like your women, my bulldog brothers? How do you like your women? I like mine smart. I like mine to be strong. And I don't mean like physically. I mean like mentally. Strong spirit. Uh, standing on her shit. You feel me? Standing on her shit. Pitwise. Young fans said Pitwise want that hot temper. Yes, sir. Salute, Big C. I don't need mine with the hot temper. I need I would choose mine to have one when it I need mine to have a governor on it. You know what I mean? No when it's a place for that. Definitely could turn it up 0 to 100 real quick. Definitely could turn 0 to 100 real quick, but ain't pulling that card all the time. Ain't doing that all the time. Respectful. So smart, mentally strong, spiritually strong, respectful. That's where I'm at with it. Hey, why salute.
What up? What up? What up? Yeah, man. There used to be a time where I wanted like a social butterfly for a partner that when I take her somewhere, she's out there, being all presidential and shit like that. But nah, my older age, man, my woman, man, is just like my bulldog. She don't fuck with nobody. She don't be kiki in nobody else's face. She hate
Hmm.
everybody but me. And I'm fine. No, and I'm fine with that, man. She
That's good.
she don't want to come. She don't come out. She don't come out none of the dog stuff, none of the reptile stuff. But she hold the fort down when I'm gone, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got a
It,
good
it,
one.
it,
That's what's up.
she introvert. She just none of this shit is her bag at all. But
That's what's up.
she loved the dogs.
Uh huh.
She out there cleaning up dog shit too.
Uh
Um, with the with the reptile business when we had
huh.
the rodents and shit, she was manning the rat room and shit by herself. You know what I mean?
Oh shit. Salute
So
that.
yeah, so she ain't scared to get her hands dirty. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like she ain't accessible to the world and shit like that. So
You
and
got a
and
good
that
one.
and that's by her choice. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hey,
I'd have been fine either way if she do the way she do. But she my moral compass. She knows she keep me financially responsible. Well, she tried to, but you
hey. Sound
know,
like you got a good one, bro. Sound like you
yeah,
got a good
man.
one. I like that one. I like that. Salute that.
Yeah,
Salute that, bro.
yeah,
Salute her. Salute her.
she everything I want in a partner, man. I mean, I think I need to do a little bit better by her and man and put that ring on her. But it's coming. But
Okay.
it's been but every time I tell people how long we've been together, they be like, damn, the way Kevin Hart said about Don Cheadle's age and shit. We've been together we've been together 13 years, bro.
Hey, I understand. I understand. I
Yeah, man.
understand. But man, hey, salute to her, and I like that. I hear it. I hear the way you describing it. That you really is, you know what I mean. You feel that, and you proud of that. You proud of that. You proud of what you have. That's what's up. I salute that, bro. I
Oh yeah.
salute that.
Yep, yep. I mean, the difficult part is having that talk with her when certain dogs don't meet the standard and stuff, and the next move from there, she want to keep everything and fix it and keep it here on the couch with me. I'm like, man, you can't have but 5, 10 dogs on this couch on this couch with you, bro. Like, what you? We got a rule. We keep one sterile dog at a time, and that's it. That'll be your pet bull.
Hey, you see
You
what
know?
Ballin said? Ballin said some real stuff. That was heavy, Ballin. Ballin said, I treat them like hounds. One bad breeding can set you back years. Dealing with the wrong shorty can set you
Man,
back 18 years. She got to be smart, willing to learn, and she got to have a hustler's mindset. 100. Salute me easy.
yeah,
Hey,
man.
I can dig it.
It's a good thing. My kids took most of my genes up with that first breeding boy, because boy, shoot, oh no,
Hey,
boy.
hey. Okay. I hear you, bro.
That's
I
how
hear
it
you, bro.
happens.
I hear
That's
you,
how it
bro.
happens. She she
Hey.
she she started off as good brood stock and shit, but she didn't pan out later on.
Hey, man. That's when you first got into the Bulldogs, huh? When you first,
Yep,
when,
yep.
hey, bread to something. You know what I mean? Hey, that's real talk. That's real talk. That's how you. That's how you get to learn what you want, though. I guess you gotta go through some of it. You gotta go through some of it to know what it is to have a good one. Just like the dogs, huh? What you think,
Yeah.
Pitwise?
Yeah, man, the same thing. But fortunately, you know, what I mean, I made ROM off of 3 breeding, so I was able to get a vasectomy after that, and I had to produce no more. You know what I mean? So I produced some productive human beings off that bad breeding and stuff. So you know,
Hey.
you know, I mean, I hit a grand champion and a couple champions out of that one. So
Hey, hey, that's what's up. That's what's
they
up, bro.
all they all killing their life now, man. So I'm happy, you know. So
Salute to that.
sometimes sometimes you make some wrong decisions, you hit some duds, but you know, as a parent, you got to make the most out of it. So,
Oh, yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
you know, that girl was hitting me up with $2,800 a month for 16 years, boy. Woo.
Woo!
I was
Woo!
like, man, them kids better have a good life. What? Let me come fly here. My kids dusty and shit as much as you get from me, man.
Okay, King T say, one like one like the grandmothers of back in the day. Woo, boy,
Oh,
you, woo. You
bro.
find one yet, King? I'm just asking, can you find one like that? That's high, that's high selection right there. One like grandma from back in the day.
Man,
Woo.
you gonna be sifting through them, boy. You ain't gonna find
Yeah,
them in the clubs either. You know,
yeah.
if you ain't met them at Walmart or Trader Joe's or some shit like that, and then you shopping,
Oh
that's how you get
my.
them. You know,
Hell yeah.
make sure they're in the fruit and vegetable aisle, and they ain't getting hot dogs and oodles and noodles and shit.
Yeah. How's King T going through a hell of a culling process. I know that. Salute. A hell of a culling process. Looking for that. For salute. Say he looking for the real thing. I hear you, King T. Ballin said, you know how many hounds and kennel setup that is? She was cranking pockets. Hey, Pitwise, you hear what I was saying about that? What you think about that red boy? You hear what I was?
The
I
the,
heard somebody.
the Florida stuff, whatever. The guy saying that it's Corvino stuff down there.
He kind of said like we ain't tripping off, we ain't never been tripping off the red boy kind of shit. We fuck with that Corvino, so it made me start like thinking like could you kind of feel where he coming from? Do you understand?
No,
I'm just wondering.
no, No, because like what Corvino stuff is up front that's relevant to anything today. Like I mean, like all of the stuff now is crossed with other things too, and I think Homeboy was just speaking talking word salad, man. You know, I just I mean,
Supreme.
keep it a bean. I mean, or that's just some tight stuff he kept with his little clique and shit like that. But
Uh-huh.
nobody like, yeah. So like, show me a pedigree now where some Corvino stuff, you know what I mean? That hasn't been put together by other camps is even working inside of 3 or 4 generations now, and you like it's a hard sell to me, you know.
I got you. I got you.
You know, so
Supreme said dude ass was drunk when he
yeah,
said that.
for real.
Hey, you know, I had to go digging. Now you know, it made me it made my interest. I wanted to go digging. So what y'all saying? It ain't no like what's the
No,
doors coming down for the
but
from the
I'm just
Covino
saying, like,
today?
but
Yeah,
describing bloodlines is up for interpretation. You know, it might be a bunch of family stuff he messed with that goes back to Corvino dogs,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
yeah.
but can
Most
you really,
likely.
but can you really call them Corvino dogs? You know what I mean? So like, if
That's
it's
where
a
it's at. That's where it's at. That's
yeah,
probably where it's at. Like, can
yeah,
you really say? Can you
right,
really trace the Corvino influence in these dogs of today? That's where we at. That's where I'm at
right,
with it now. Like, okay,
yeah,
where the Corvino at? We see the red boy. We see the red boy
mm-hmm.
out here. We still talking. We still can
Yep,
see the red boy and trace him. Um, is the Corvino some special stuff that we can't
yeah.
find or something?
Or that tells me that everything that up way back up when you get back to actually the stuff with Corvino's name on it, that there's nothing else of note up to that point. So you
Right,
know, I mean,
right.
that when you can stop and call it something else. You know, I mean, just like look at the dogs over in Europe, all like the ship and the Croata dogs and the reptile dogs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Like as long as they've been having stuff over there, when you ask somebody to describe those dogs, you kind of have to say the stuff that they're running because if you got to trace that stuff back to Red Boy Jocko and stuff, you're going back 7, 8, 9, 10 generations. So are they really Red Boy Jocko dogs at that point?
Right, right.
You
True,
know,
true that. True that.
so.
You know. Salute, links, links, salute. Links said women. I like the ones that like me. I heard somebody
I
say that
hear that.
before, links. Hey, I like that, links. I heard old J-Bo say that before. He said, I like the ones that like me. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Salute, links.
Hey man, chasing the ones that don't like you, man. When that's trying to get with the ones who trying to convince the ones who don't like you to like you. That come with
Whoa.
a lot of time and money you probably don't even want to spend, man.
You ain't lying about that one. You ain't lying about that one. For sure. But no, they was like, man, when I was looking into it, they was like, man, cool, like we we celebrate Dabo, Black Widow, and on here they saying like that's those dogs are heavy influence Corvino. I haven't peeped it how yet. I ain't gonna sit there and tell you I peeped it how yet, but they saying like the Hubbard bounce and all them like Hubbard bounce not like that. Basically, like Corvino is heavy up in that mix, up in that cook up. So they saying like if you love the mother dogs, the Dabo and the what's the name, like I think the way they put it is the Corvino cooking. When Corvino was cooking in the kitchen, it gave rise to the Debo dogs. That's what I
Yeah.
heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I just always was under the like when I came up learning that once you have a more established family afterwards and stuff, you don't still go back. Like I've never described the dog in 2025 as a Diabo Black Widow dog. That's what the 1950s.
Yeah, yeah. You're
That
definitely you definitely right. You
yeah,
definitely right.
you know what I'm saying? Like I never be like, oh man, that man, I know I got this heavy 2 door spike male. That's just,
But like like let me see. Let me see. How can I say it? Okay. What would be the purpose? Would it be? Is it any purpose for us to even be digging in historical shit nowadays? Do you see any positive in that? I understand nowadays we trying to move forward. Um, do we throw away the historical box period? Like far as the data, do we throw it away period, or is it still useful? Just ask.
no, I just think that when you like, if you don't have an established family of your own at this point, and you have to describe it as something. It's just all this is to me, bro, is marketing. When you go to Pets Online and you got title dogs or producer dogs that have colors on their thing, that's all marketing. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's just a way to promote your brand and your kennel and your dogs in a certain way, man. So it's just different ways that people can do it. So when you're describing these bloodlines and what you got, I mean, there's a lot of years ago before our time, people had no idea how these dogs was bred because that wasn't their goal. There wasn't a lot of breeders back then. You had a couple of sources on your corners of the world, and your corners of the United States, and that was it. Like
Yes, sir.
a lot of times people didn't tell you how their dog was bred or how they worked their dogs and stuff. Remember the old time we used to say, man, a man to tell you how their wife was before they tell you how they worked their dog. You know,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
so yeah, and that's how it was. And then somehow we had this paradigm shift where people realized that, whether they, competed with their dogs in athletics or whatever, and that they still needed to sell puppies. So, how do you advertise what you have? And that's how you do it.
Okay.
They use these buzzwords.
Excellent point. Excellent point. So I ask you this, Pitt. Why? Okay. So you say those things are probably just marketing schemes. Okay. We in the age now. How important is marketing today to as
It's
far as our dogs?
as far as building the brand, man, everything around you is marketing. Like
Yes, sir.
having like being on podcasts is marketing. You know what I mean? Like I'll be the first to tell you, man. Like Hanzo isn't my best dog ever. He's probably he's my 20th best dog. But because he's out in the open right now, and I do these lives and jump in these podcasts and talk about him and show him all over the place because, he's a marketable animal. That's why.
That's what's
So
up.
can't show all your dogs.
That's what's up. Hey, that's
You know
real
what I
talk
mean?
though.
You can't show all
Hey,
your
but
dogs.
that's real talk though. That's real talk. Like that's real. That's a real gem right there. Salute, King T. I'm gonna get right with that. Hey, that's a real gem right there that I peeped. Because like basically you saying, my pick, my MVP ain't what y'all MVP is,
Hmm.
but basically, I respect the fact that the world loves this Joker right here. It
Hmm.
ain't about me. It ain't about me. I ain't gonna hold this Joker back. It is about me, but it ain't about me. Which means I ain't gonna hold this Joker back even just because I don't think he the best on my yard, but the people celebrating him. I'm hey, whatever, get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Salute the dog. But the real gem is that you say like, yo, but that ain't my best dog that I would boom boom boom. Now that's real talk. You ain't even had to do that. Some people wouldn't even do that. They would just go ahead
Yeah.
and let the people believe in the hype. That's why I said that was a real gem. And I ain't saying believe in the hype. I'm saying the wrong words because Hanzo an excellent dog, excellent representation. So what I'm saying is like uh you not being selfish to the point where as though will hold your dogs back and you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot, which
Yeah.
means you're gonna force fuck Hanzo, you're gonna force what you like out here.
Well, dude, everybody that has some flim flam or some BS in their program that they shouldn't have. Every time they make a breeding and that dog's not pedigree, they got this little itch in the back of their head going, "Oh man, I don't know how this one's gonna work out because
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
gave
sir.
such and such the I gave such and such the benefit of the doubt, and it really didn't hold up the standard that I want. But it's bred well, so let me go. Like this,
Hell
like
yeah.
this, it's we like I'm guilty of it too. I've done it before. You know what I mean? And but that's not in my program now. And I just now that my on my second tour as Pitwise Kennels. I was in my early 20s back then. I just had so many people in my head going, "You should do this, you should do this, you should do that." Like all these old timers, they're successful OGs too. They all tell you bullshit too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, back
Yeah.
then, bro, like the human nature. I'm sorry, but I'm not saying all, but in most cases, people want to see you do well, but not better than them.
Real talk, real talk. Hey, King T say, hey, they out here now. The wolves that came out now. They say it's meat out here. They come out here get the meat. I'm gonna start with King T. King T say, all right, Toyo. So can we get rid of the papers then? I think let me see if he really said that. Make sure I ain't He said Toyo. Oh man. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Shit. I'm on my stuff. And okay. Anyway, he said Toyo, can we throw away the papers? Can we throw away the papers then? Since we talking like this and forget the history and all, can we throw away the papers then? Is we that comfortable to stand on it for real like that? Can we throw away the papers then? What y'all say about that? What you say about that? You ain't throw away the papers, did you? Well,
Nah, my goal as my program is to have a strong enough family where that once you see my name in those first four generations, you don't care what the stuff in back behind it says. You
okay,
know,
that's gangster.
and by year 2035, 2040, most of these dogs you're gonna see pit wise kennels or hoods or blah blah blah, depending on the generations. You know what I mean? So much that you know what these dogs bring to the table. You don't have to go sift all the way back to the 10th generation and say, okay, well, they're gonna be able to have this, they're gonna be athletic, they're gonna have mouth, So my goal is to have it to the point where none of those older dogs even matter. So
Okay,
I can't speak for everybody else, but that's just me. And, that's kind of going back to those I was saying the dogs over in Europe, all like the Carolina and Ship and stuff dogs too. You got to go way back there to see some of our famous dogs in the U.S.
yes
And
sir, yes
and I
sir,
mean, and they got some good dogs over there. You know what I mean? Their dogs they're good for their program for what they're doing. So, I think if you're gonna stick around and you're gonna put two dogs together and you're gonna let these dogs hunt, that should be all of our goals.
yes
Like
sir.
build our own name.
I agree. I agree. Um, SDA say in the 80s, the Corvino Midnight Cowboy dogs were a devastating cross. Then more Carver bred dogs like Boomerang dogs and Boyle's dogs grew in popularity. Okay, SDA, salute that, salute that. So SDA said he could get them up to the 80s. That's what SDA says. SDA said he could get them up to the 80s now. That Corvino was still making noise in the 80s. I got you, SDA. Okay, so we got up to the 80s. That's good time from back in the 20s. From back in the 20s, he still was up in the 80s getting crossed with that Midnight Cowboy making some noise. Salute that, SDA. Thanks for that, Joe. Yes, sir. Let me see what else. We got let me see what King T say. I mean, Ballin, Meady say. Meady say, King T, as long as you know how it's bred, fuck them papers. Unless you're going for a title with a club, there's a lot of clubs and sporting events you don't need papers for. Salute that Ballin, salute that Jim, salute that Jim. Yes, sir. So okay, no papers, dog. So if you don't got no papers, that doesn't exclude you from do y'all respect a dog with no papers out here? I want to ask y'all that. Y'all talking good. It sound good. But if a dude come out and start shining out here in this community and he ain't got no paperwork behind him, is y'all gonna celebrate that dog like y'all talking like y'all to celebrate that dog? Would y'all breed to that dog? Would y'all breed to that dog if he ain't had no papers? He just pop up today. He wall climbing champion. He a three card Marley dude. He done got it in the wall climbing. He done got it in the weight pulling, and he well known in the hog game. So
Yeah.
he
If
ain't got
you
no paper. He ain't got no papers though. Is y'all breeding to that joker?
if
Talk to
you
me.
if you never ever want to sell a puppy ever in your life, you can go ahead and beat to the dog with no damn papers. But the fact of the matter is, man, like even when I stud Honzo out, the fact that he has to be quadruple and quintuple registered, you know what I mean, to make sure that whoever people register their dogs with matches up with him, and that's one less thing they got to do. You know what I mean? Like, because eventually somebody's going to want to sell something from you, and a lot of people they want that little warm fuzzy of authenticity. Whether you know what I mean, obviously it can be fake, but at least that's the step
Yeah.
that you took. You know what I
So
mean?
yeah. So I take that,
So
and you ain't the only one. Pit wise, I think that's we more feel like that on the whole as a community. That's what it smelled like. Like nigga, them papers important, but we don't talk like that. We always talking like we show off and talk like man, papers don't mean nothing. All this is the dog and all that. But when it come down to it, you know, like Pitwise just said, Man, be for real, yo. If you ain't, you must be planning on just having that joke around or something, because you ain't doing. Ain't nobody caring what he do. Basically, if that paperwork in there, they ain't investing no time in you. They ain't gonna celebrate you too much. You ain't gonna get the pub as the dog with the paperwork. Let's keep it real. You ain't gonna get no pub like the dog with the paperwork. And that shit been known from the beginning of time. And that's why just Toyo talking. That's why you have people with a drawer full of paperwork to put on they next star, because they know niggas ain't gonna respect that dog no matter what. That dog can come outside flying. First thing they gonna be asking, like, how's this bread? How's this bread? And the man starts saying, man, I ain't got no paperwork, but it was boo 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 boo. That kind of
Yeah, and then
makes some
people
people turn their nose down.
and then
Salute.
people do breed to that dog or whatever, get something off of it, and then realize in the next generation they're trying to figure out why that dog got a bushy tail, why that dog hair looked the way it do. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that dog could have been a mixed breed, all you know. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these dogs have terrible conformation. You know, and it ain't just because you hit on a bunch of recessive genes. It's because maybe in that second generation something got a hold of them, but the more pit bull style drowned them out. And then you go
Yeah,
ahead and breathe to that thing, and you got something else now. Now you got all these rumors about your stuff that it was a hound, it was a toaster. Look at his ears. Oh, look at
I
his
see.
bushes. And then we
Yes,
going back
sir.
and forth to the old, just another big circle and stuff. You know, people think the Mayday dogs is hounds, and they got papers.
Yeah. So he go, yeah, maybe they going through that stage of popularity now where it's though, okay, you gotta go through they critical out here, Mayday. They say your shit mixed with Tulsa and shit like that. They
Bro,
get critical.
could you imagine if Barracuda did what he did but didn't have any
They
papers?
critical out here, Mayday. They say your shit mixed with Tulsa and shit like that. They get critical.
Echoing.
Somebody got their TV on. But anyway, salute brothers. I see y'all in the building. Go ahead and take the mic.
Well, Toyo, Toyo.
Somebody got to turn their TV. You close the YouTube tab out and turn the TV off. It's double
Uh-huh.
echoing.
Uh-huh. I hear you,
Toyo.
Welsh. I hear you, Welsh. What's up, bro?
Now you see you talking about that paperwork today, right?
Yes, sir.
What we talk about yesterday?
What we talked about
Think,
yesterday.
think, think about it, and this is why I keep saying what I said. Think about what we talked about yesterday, and think about what everything y'all just said in the last 10 minutes.
Bro, your mind works faster than mine. I don't even know what we talked about
All
yesterday,
right,
bro.
so
Let
we
you
was
refresh
talking
me.
about
Let you refresh me.
when you, because mind you, I came on late yesterday when you was talking about if what's her name was the real mother to
Oh,
Tombstone.
yeah.
Now, okay. So after we get off and everything later on tonight, you might got to replay yesterday, and that's why I keep saying
Uh-huh.
people need to focus on their own shit because
Yeah.
now, yesterday we talking about if the sire or the mama
We lost you. Well, you there?
with or without the
Oh, there you go.
paperwork, unless you doing DNA, you still can be lied to and misled.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
so
sir.
at the end of the day, everybody chasing all these papers, trying to hold on to these historical documents. These dogs are in the archives for a reason. It's
Mm-hmm.
historical. You're supposed to move forward.
Yep. Like this dude. Think about the '70s, man, when Jeep litter was popping and stuff, and people would say, "Oh, Honey Bunch wasn't off Bully Son." Do you give a shit that was not Honey Bunch was off of Bully Son when you see what she produced? Does
Who
that matter?
and pit wise, listen, right? Listen. That's what I tell motherfuckers every day. It don't
Yeah.
matter if the paperwork was wrong. You not
Mhm.
breeding to the dogs behind it. You breeding to
Exactly.
that.
Yep. Yeah. Like it
And
just to me.
go ahead.
To me, if you worried about that when you, especially when you got stars right in front of you, like that's you know what I mean. And those are obviously those are outliers, like the Bo Honey Bunch breeding. But when you had such a successful breeding about that, why you caring about stuff back there? You know what I mean? You think people in that time frame was like, oh man, yeah, I got this bully something Kobe breeding going on right now and shit, man. Like
So
that shit don't matter, man.
hear me say, Let me say, what's fancy papers these days? Do all of them come? He ain't say this part. I'm adding this part in, but he asked, "What's famous papers these days?" So, do your papers got
All of them.
Jordans on or fake Jordans? Do your papers got real Jordans on or fake Jordans? What's the fancy papers these days? Do anybody know? Tell me.
Yeah, man.
Man, fancy papers is where all these motherfuckers chasing, man. Because at the end of the day, everybody, if we recap on today and yesterday, it goes to show, like I keep saying, buy your own shit and make something new. Because if not, guess what? 2030, we gonna be back on, well, was this the sire of this dog? Was this the dam of this dog? Listen, the paperwork is only used for certain things. It's for your breeding documentation. It's for legal purposes, just in case you got to prove the dog is yours and not stolen, and for certain other things. Y'all giving
it's like a reference, and it's a reference.
Yeah, like people giving the paperwork. They giving the paperwork too much power. Like the paperwork not weight pulling. The paperwork not in the 16 by 16. The paperwork is not in the woods. The paperwork is meant to go in your fucking safe or your dresser, and you forget about it till it's time to use it.
But see, we just going back because like we say that, and I say that sound good. You sound good saying that, Welsh. You sound good. You sound real good. But like, would you buy a dog today without papers? Just keep it honest. Would you?
Yes. If I could see the family of dogs, yes. I have dogs without papers, but
okay.
most of them are from my family of dogs. I even recently sold, well, not just recently, but I sell dogs with papers.
He mean it like an unknown pedigree though. Like as far I think, because I know a lot of people who don't register anything. You know, like the boys in Louisiana got generations of dogs who's never
the paperwork can't show me. The paperwork cannot show me more than what the dog can show me.
Right.
So I mean, look how many curves come from all these great pedigrees. So I mean, again, the pedigree ain't gonna show me more than what the dog can show me. Because Mayday threw curves, Jeep threw curves, everybody threw curves. So if I'm a person that's stuck on pedigrees, my program wouldn't be where it is today. So
that's a gem. That's a gem.
The whole
that's a jewel. That's a jewel.
It's just listen. It's certain dogs that most of y'all never seen me post that other people know about. Mm-hmm. I got 4 different yards in 4 different states of families of these dogs. I can show you the paperwork, but most people don't even know how they bred. But guess what? They can tell you about 30 different family members. So what you want to see, the pet, or you want to see the family members?
So your breeding motto is just analyzing those individual parents' behaviors and their tendencies, and doing and putting best to best together.
Best to best. I know how they bred, but
the way it should be.
I mean, that shit is just, again. That's why so many people don't have success with their own dogs, because look at what they're doing. They sit down on pairs online for 5 hours out the day looking at these fucking dead dogs that they can't breed to. Meanwhile, they got 30 something dogs on their yard. Some of them ain't worth a shit. The other half they not paying attention to because they worried about everybody else's dog, and they worried about all these old ass dogs that they can't breed to.
You know what's crazy, man? Like, maybe it was my luck, but I've never purchased a phenomenal dog. I've only produced phenomenal dogs from the dogs that I put together myself, because I saw what I wanted from both of them and got the best of the sum.
Well, Pitwise, you have to do that in order to obtain that. Yep. A lot of these guys are so caught up. Oh, I got Jeep 3 times in the 4th generation. Okay, well, what the dogs that you going outside feeding? What they talk about? I don't give a fuck about Jeep being your 4th generation. What that dog that you going outside clean up that shit? What that dog do?
Everything else say Subaru and Mazda and
You know, I want what that Nissan Altima doing out there. You know what I'm saying?
I got that Sentra up close.
I still say I still say that sound, all that stuff sound good, but like what Brother Pitwise said earlier, marketing is so important in this game. Whereas though, like he said earlier, like how are you gonna sell a dog really with no papers? Not talking about like just you, Welsh, because like you on another level. Like you said the other day, like you said before, you keep saying, we got some beginners in here. So do you advise them to buy dogs without papers? Like they're gonna be like that's gonna be like. Do you see a dead internet? How they gonna be just stuck with that? They can't
I would
even if they
suggest
got good
them to do
dogs.
both. I would suggest them to do both. But see, that depends on their situation. If I started okay, if I had somebody that came to me and said, well, what's the difference between the dogs without paperwork and with paperwork? I'm gonna tell them straight up. Everybody will tell them something different, but I'm gonna tell them every dog has a pedigree. It might not have paperwork, but it has a pedigree. Now, second of all, what is your plans? Are you targeting show people? Are you targeting people in the woods hog hunting? If they just worried about people hog hunting, which I really like to deal with because they don't ask all these dumbass questions. They want a bulldog. So if I got two dogs, if I tell him go get two dogs without paperwork, and I tell him to examine them, take them in the woods. If they do everything they supposed to do, you want to duplicate that. Put them together. This is a problem with paperwork people. Not everybody. Just listen to what I'm about to say. A lot of the problems with paperwork people is you hear they got all these bad motherfuckers, but why they not putting best to best? Why are you still buying all these goddamn dogs and you claiming you got all these bad motherfuckers on your yard? Why are you not putting them together? So something ain't right. Yeah, I know you got him for the paperwork. So this is what I'm saying. If Toyo start over and he brand new, he say dogs with papers or without papers. I'm gonna tell them both. Get one with the papers, get one without papers. Take both them males in the goddamn woods and see which one prevail. The one that prevail, that's the one you move forward with. It might be the one with the paper, it might be the one without the paper.
Hopefully they look the same and you can just put the papers on the other one. That's what they would do.
Hey,
Just throwing it out there.
That's what they doing, Toyo. That's what they doing, Toyo.
Yeah,
That's what a lot of them boys doing. But if he say he trying to create something of his own, I'ma tell him the same answer, either one, because just like me, it don't matter how the motherfucking dog is bred. If it's got what I'm looking for, I'm moving forward. So either way, the pet is going to change. Either way, the pet is going to change.
Y'all drop some jewels in that. Let me pick up that jewel y'all just dropped though, real quick, and shine it off real quick, because and I put it up on the screen. Tony dropped the diamond. For real. If you look at it on the whole, what Tony's saying is correct, and I even respect that. Working dogs throughout history and probably to this day, those the ones the people who are interested in working dogs and that dog can do the job, man, them people that's looking for those dogs, they don't give a fuck about the papers. Working dogs, that's what I think. I think working dogs that's got a job and they good at their job, and the people that's into that job field or whatever, they just want to know that that dog working can complete that job. Those are the people that ain't worrying about papers. The other people that the papers hold more value on is like, I think it's being explained by the chat. It's people that's more marketing them, trying to sell to the public because of a certain lineage and the potential to do a certain jobs just because of the lineage. But none of the dogs are proven or nothing like that. So you need paperwork to kind of give the person the kind of a security of, okay, it's supposed to be able to do something. But them real working dogs and stuff like that, the real workers throughout history and to this day, I think that those are the ones that nobody cared if they had paperwork for real. Those ones, they work so good that you might got people like Carvin and us ourselves or whatever that'll slap some papers on them if we whatever. That's all I'm saying. Salute.
That's true. That's dual purpose. And it does serve a dual purpose as far as like a reference to and knowing which direction to go with stuff and how things are put together. But like I said, man, like I don't know if you guys into race horses, but if I tell you to name a racehorse throughout history, what's the first horse you gonna name?
Mayflower.
Secretariat, Seabiscuit, Mayflower, one of them top
Secretary,
five dogs,
Seabiscuit,
right?
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So one of them. So like I ain't gonna name one horse that was in that Kentucky Derby last year. I don't know. I don't know. Not
Real
one
talk.
of them.
Real talk. Real talk.
No.
But,
So it, it,
and
does-
see,
it,
and
it, does,
see,
it does serve a dual purpose, you know.
yeah, that's what I said. It's a dual purpose, but pit wise, the guys that can't see past the paperwork,
Mhm.
those are the ones
Yeah.
that all have something in common that
Yep.
you'll see. Like
And those
Hey,
guys
it's
and those guys need to go breed Frenchies.
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Go
hey.
go
All right,
part
we're
of
gonna
that
leave.
scheme.
Hey, y'all, excellent cook up. I'm glad I had two master chefs up here with me today. Hey, look, the last question on the way out, gentlemen. Ballin said, okay, now when y'all picking y'all women, do she gotta have papers? So we gonna roll out on that. No, we gonna roll out on that. Salute, Beansy. Salute.
I was in California for 13 years, and I preferred all of them without papers because they was easy. They was easy. They was easy to move on from when they didn't work
No
out, and I
bullshit.
didn't.
No bullshit. No bullshit.
Y'all crazy as shit. Hey, Big A, you ready to shut it down? We gotta go, man. Y'all get y'all place to go and shit. I see y'all tomorrow. Y'all already know
Yes,
a
sir.
Bulldog in the
Hey
Bulldog
Welch,
world.
hey Welch, man, hit me on the back channels, man. If you got IG or something like that, man. But I need to talk to you about some stuff, bro. I've been trying to hit you up the past couple days, but couldn't find
I,
you.
I got I got
So
I got to reload. Fuck, I got to download fucking IG. Just hit me on Facebook. I just downloaded that motherfucker on his phone.
Hey, yo, Big
All right.
Toyo.
all right,
My fault, GB. I didn't even know you was up here, bro. Salute, GB. What's
Nah,
up?
it's good. I just want to tell you, hey, look, we serving cut waters at the special table today. Me and Big C.
Salute.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah.
hey
All right,
Welch,
y'all. It's your brother.
what I pull up for you, Welch, on Facebook?
What happened?
What I pull up for you on Facebook?
Just put in Welsh Kendall's Combine. Kendall's with a Z.
Okay,
All
cool.
right,
I got you,
y'all.
bro. All right, man.
Salute to the
All
Bulldog community. Salute y'all. Y'all already know it's your brother, Big Toyo. Y'all stay royal. I'ma stay loyal. See y'all tomorrow.
right. Peace.